Okay, there. We are in. I don't see Molly here though. Let me see if I can invite her to join. Here's Gail. Oh, here's Molly. Okay, we're getting it going. Yay! Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. So happy that we could all be here. Hi, Molly. We can't hear you. You're muted.
Hi. I was
Oops.
muted.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay,
Like
so
trying to open the door at the same time.
I think so too. Thank you, Ivy. Ivy says I'm doing great. Okay, so I'm live here on Facebook in our group Nurturing Naturals. Thank you, sweetheart. Hi, Melanie. Your sister's watching us there too. So we're also on Zoom so that we can record it too. So Molly and Gail so far are on Zoom. And what we want to talk about is doTERRA's blend Brave, which is part of the children's collection, but it's also sold individually. So it's a great one, not only for our children, but also for ourselves. So Molly, did you want to start?
Sure, I can start.
Okay, and I hope that you guys can hear her live on Nurturing Naturals because my speakers on my computer are not the best.
Do you want us? My phone's just in an awkward place. I'm charging it for 2 minutes. I didn't realize it was so low. Can you start and I'll jump in like 2 minutes?
Okay, sure, no problem. So with this essential oil, all the children's blends come in 10 milliliter roller bottles that are either sold individually or you can purchase them in a really cute little kit. So the one that we're going to talk about today is Brave, and this helps us to instill courage within us. And I just wanted to read from the Essential Emotions book, which I really love. Here's the cover to the book. And I just wanted to read Brave to you because the descriptions of the blends and the oils in this book are just so beautiful and so profound that I just think they're so spot on. So Brave invites individuals to treat others with mutual respect, which includes respect for ourselves. There is an opportunity in every communication to choose to honor the humanity of each person. Every soul is deserving of nothing less, right? It helps those who have struggled with being mistreated, bullied, excluded, or made to feel less than others. This blend also imbues them with the tenacity to confront the untruths that they have believed about themselves because of negative experiences. Brave clears emotional debris, bolstering the individual with knowledge that their worth can never be devalued by the action of others. Brave encourages individuals to speak up about or speak out against things that are wrong, either with their peers and their family, and or especially if they feel the problem is theirs to shoulder alone. It takes courage to be vulnerable and to share what one is afraid to say. However, it is through this intrepidity that they will free themselves from the destructive consequences of concealment. Brave blend confronts the lie that keeps something hidden and keeps it safe. It is only through standing up for the truth, no matter how frightening it may seem, that the individual can firmly step back into the light and be free. Brave blend invites all to reclaim the courage they lack. It teaches only power. It teaches the only power fear has is the power it is given. So I just love that description so much. Now, this is really interesting because brave, the courage blend, I wish I had around when I was a child because I had some major trauma growing up as a little girl. And my parents got divorced when I was in third grade. And so I had gone to public school previously, and then my mom got a job at a local Catholic school. And then she transferred my brother and I over to Catholic school, which I found to be such a traumatic experience because the children in Catholic school there were much meaner and way more bullyish than kids that I went to public school with. And they were way more cliquey, and never have I felt like such an outsider, scared to go to school, have been picked on and just been afraid to speak my truth. And I wish that Brave blend was around when I was a kid. My mom was like, don't worry, we'll arm you energetically with this magic potion, you know? So, and also we can relate this to adults because our childhood experiences they were talking about here, we carry those with us throughout our life, right? And depending on if we heal our childhood wounds or not, is going to result in how we deal with our everyday relationships and experiences with other people, and whether or not we're able to speak our truth. So we can use Brave Blend as adults too. And what I find really amazing about this blend, not only does it smell great, I wish we could share the aromatherapy over the Wi-Fi, over cyberspace, but this is a blend of wild orange, amyris, osmanthus flower, and cinnamon. And, you know, I was doing a little bit of research on amyris, and amyris is like the poor man's sandalwood. And if you are like me and love the wood oils, you'll really resonate with that because it comes from the resin of the plant, and it's really grounding. It brings us a sense of stability, and um, it works well with the first chakra, the first energy center in the body, because that's where we hold the seat of our power, right? So we want to feel really stable and really secure. And so it's got that aspect of the wood oil in this blend to really solidify our courage and our sense of stability and our right to be here. And then it's got the aspect of the floral of osmanthus flower, and osmanthus flower is very uplifting and bright and promotes that feeling of strength and courage from within. And mixed with cinnamon, which is the spice, so it kind of adds the little kick or the flair that we may need to really bolster some courage within us. Cinnamon is very invigorating and also uplifting and stimulating. And then with the combination of the wild orange, which as we know is all things uplifting and elevating to the mood, and it just really purifies the space so that we can speak our truth. So this is really an amazing, amazing blend. It also promotes not only feelings of being courageous, but being respectful, like it was first stated, mutual respect for other people, as well as ourselves, because a lot of times, you know, we can have respect for other people and not respect ourselves. So we really want to find that place of honor and that self-worth, right? And then the next word here is worthy. So it just goes hand in hand. And we want to really be resolute about that in our decision. Like the way we treat ourselves is how we give other people permission to treat us. So we want to really treat ourselves like the goddess or the god that we are created in the image of, and really honor that divinity and that sacredness of spirit. Because when we begin to diminish the sense of spirit within us, what happens? We're just like a flower or a plant that's not watered. It's like we wither away and we're like, you know, so we really want to nurture this, I think, right from the beginning, especially with children. And because when children are, you know, they're experiencing life from being an infant into a toddler to a child. And, you know, it's not that we want to shield our children from any heartache or, you know, chaos, because this is life. So we want to really teach our children that, you know, how they can stand in their power when life feels unstable, when people are being mean, and or we're not feeling able to speak our truth. So that's just a little bit of what I wanted to say about Brave, because as children learn to find their courage through life's everyday moments, Brave can be a really excellent companion for that, whether we teach them to use the oil on their pulse points, on their heart center, on their wrists, or the base of their brain stem, or even on the soles of their feet, where we can encourage them to say a little affirmation too, like, I am superhuman, you know, and make it really a fun experience for them, so that even when kids are experiencing trauma, stress, you know, I mean, kids feel it too. They're sensitive beings, and we may think that we're shielding from, you know, traumatic experiences, but a lot of times they feel shut out. You know, like if someone in our family dies and we don't allow our children to come to the funeral to say their goodbye and have closure, that's very traumatic, because one day grandma or grandpa is there or a loved one is there, and then all of a sudden they're not. How do we explain that? And, you know, I find that the more that we can be truthful with children and really show them how to find their strength in situations like that, the more powerful and more emotionally well-adjusted a human being they will be. You know, like, for example, when I lived in India, death is all around. They're burning bodies, they're parading, they're having funeral processions through the street, and there's people of all ages, babies, infants, little toddlers, teenagers, everyone, up to grannies and grandpas. And, you know, it's very important to share great tragedy like that as a community, where you can really be held by others and you can see how people mourn, you know, because it's not something that we need to just stuff down inside. And especially with little boys too, you know, a lot of times we'll teach them that they need, oh, why are you crying? You just need to be brave, or, you know, be strong. Well, you can be strong in your vulnerability and in your tears, because how amazing is that when you can see your own father cry for something? You know, how powerful is that? Because that's your first male guru, your first teacher in your life. And, or, you know, if you're not raised with a father figure like that, then some kind of male figure. Or even if you're raised by two moms, you know, it's really good to have that balance, because we need to create that harmonization and that balance where there's not an imbalance of the sacred masculine or the divine feminine. We're really coming into that age right now of harmonization. So Brave is a really unique oil for that, I think. What do you guys think? Do you guys have anything to say and contribute?
Um, Oh, let's have Gail talk first.
Okay, Gail.
I just wanted to show the kit that Brave comes in.
Thank you. Oh,
The-
Gail's showing the kit. So let me turn around my camera here.
Each of the oils has one of these little
Super cute.
thingies, and there's 6 in here, and then this opens up and it has like a pouch in here, and then really cool, they're flashcards on each one of the blends. It tells you about it tells you what it's called, what type, the like think or the focus. Okay, let me do Brave since that's what we're doing. Brave Courage Blend, and then it tells you how to use it. And also on this thing, I think it's really, really cool. It says, note for caregivers. Use these blends as powerful daily affirmations for your child as you care for their growing body.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Also, you know, not only are these blends color coded, like Gail was showing, but also they have little symbols on the card as well as the oil blend that will show different body systems, like whether it's for the brain. So,
Right.
so that one's for the heart. So see how there's a heart on there? So this supports the emotional body.
Oh, and it's on the bottle.
Yeah, and then what are the other symbols? I know that there's a brain, and that supports the brain. And then there's the body. So there's the body. So that's the soothing blend. So that's like for muscles and, you know, those growing pains that we get as children.
And
that's the brain. Yeah, there's 3 different categories. So thank you for showing that, Gail. That's super sweet. And it makes it really fun. I have pictures of this kit and my friends' children, and they love it. They'll like latch those little carabiners onto their belt loops, and they're just like, this is my superpower, I've got my courage, and I'm brave, and they just like freak out. They're so cute. So it's so empowering for children to, you know, be able to go off on their own into the world, whether it's going to daycare or school or sports, and, you know, being like, okay, I've got my secret remedy here. So, Molly, what were you going to say? Turn the camera on for Molly.
I was just going to touch on the positive impact, enabling or empowering our kids with these plant-based natural tools, especially just, you know, not to focus too much on the time we're experiencing right now, but I think it's really valid to speak about how this time is affecting our children as well. You know, I think we're really focused on how it's affecting us as adults, be it with our social relationships, with jobs, with any of those other day-to-day stresses. But the kids, you know, they're very aware of what's going on. I mean, all of a sudden they didn't go back to school after vacation, or however it worked wherever you are, but you know, school, and then they were, you know, just at home and working from home, and the whole dynamic switched, and they aren't seeing their friends, and they're not being able to hug their friends. And it's great that the birthday parties now are like parades, but it's like, damn, you know, it's like awesome that we're finding ways to celebrate, but it is such a different time right now for these kids. And we have to remember how sensitive the bodies of children are, and they're picking up on all of our energies. So even if we're able to keep our shit together, smile, still, you know, have dinner ready, still like taking care of them, like everybody's cool, finding the positives in it, but they can pick up on, you know, our energy of like, oh, like, you know, the anxious energy, the unsure. So I just think that this is one way to empower our children so that they feel like they're a little bit more in control and like, okay. I mean, I just think about it. It's like if I was 5, 6, 7, 8 years old and one day I woke up and my parents were like, hey, from now on, you're doing school from home and you have to wear a mask and you can't touch anybody. You can't hug your grandma. You can't hug your friends. You're not going to have a birthday party because there's a virus. Like that shit would scare me as a baby. Like, and then it's like, oh, everything's okay. Everything's okay. Like I was talking to my niece last night and she's like, I think we're going to have to wear masks at school next year. I'm like, it's just such a different reality. And, you know, I think it's so important that we really take the time and are present enough to empower our children with the tools that they also need to get through this time. Because I think it's beautiful that everybody's focusing more on self-care and prioritizing health. We really need to make it a whole family lifestyle priority, you know? So these tools, the Brave, along with the kit that Gail was showing, are just some of these, the ways that our kids can feel more empowered. And I just wanted to touch on some positive affirmations that I know Karuna had mentioned, but which makes it even more fun and then also for us if we're using the oil too. But some simple ones for kids, like very short and simple. You know, I am brave, I am wise, I am important, I have many gifts and talents, and just really make it such a fun, empowering experience, right? And maybe they're into superheroes or whatever, just the oil alone and them inhaling it and then, you know, teaching them how to use it and then, you know, having them run around with it with the little keychain, you know? I think that's so cute.
It is so cute. Yeah. They can stick it on their backpacks, their school bag, you know, it's really cool. And then also I think it's an opportunity too for kids to share. And, you know, like if someone is also feeling afraid, they can be like, hey, I've got my superpower oil here. You want to try some, or my magic potion? And, you know, it's, I think, a way to break ice. And also, I know that there's a lot of problem with bullying nowadays too, especially. And, you know, just here in Bend, Oregon, there was a 13-year-old boy who actually ended up committing suicide because he was bullied so bad in school. And, you know, he was telling teachers, and I mean, it was really tragic. So we've got to teach our children from the beginning how important it is to really respect each other no matter what, and that, you know, no matter how quirky or awkward someone is, we all have value and we are all deserving of respect and nothing less, you know? And I think that we really, really, really need to instill that in children. And when they see because I remember when I was little, I remember just being so afraid, being bullied, and I would see other people be bullied too. And I was always a friend to the underdog, you know, and I was one of those people, and even in high school too, that kind of was friends with every kind of group there was, you know. It was so funny. I had friends in all those different kind of groups, but I just think that it's important to really, you know, make sure that our children are including others and, you know, sticking up for the underdog and really finding the unique and intrinsic beauty of that, like people's quirkinesses, because as we grow up, our quirkinesses and those eccentricities are what makes us so special. And then we end up enhancing them sometimes as we grow older. You know, it becomes like something that could have been crippling or, you know, an obstacle in youth, and the awkwardness of growing up through puberty could actually be something that we, you know, really like and I remember I had talked about this in a previous in a previous episode. I was going to say, how funny is that? But I was saying, like, when I was growing up as a teenager, I felt so awkward about my nose. And my parent, like one of my best friend's dad, well, my best friend's dad used to make fun of it. And then now I have had it pierced since I was 19, you know? So it's so funny, those things that people can make us feel really self-conscious about. But then when we have that inner strength and the respect of ourselves, like, yeah, I may have a big nose or something, but I got that from my Italian family, you know what I mean? And whatever, this is my grandma, this is the result of my ancestors. I am a result of my ancestry. So really finding that respect, and I also think that that really relates to respecting other people's cultures, religions, choices, especially right now where people are like ready to smack you down for your opinion, you know what I mean? It's really funny, but not so funny, because we need to bring a more gentleness to it. So another thing I wanted to talk about with this blend Brave is I also, as you know, like Advanced Oil Magic book. And this is such a great book because it talks about how to use it, you know, like how do we use the oils? How can we make it applicable to everyday life for ourselves or for our children? So, you know, like think about when children are first going to school for the first time, or they're starting a new year, or they're going to a dance, or they're trying out for a part in a play, or for some kind of sports or cheerleading or whatever it is, playing music, you know, those auditions, those tests, even like the super little wee ones who are potty training. Sometimes they don't feel comfortable sitting on a toilet, or they feel awkward even sitting on the little potty training toilet. So you can say like, okay, we're gonna put this on your low back, and this is gonna, and we'll put it on your low belly and maybe the back of your neck, and just get them excited about the whole process of like, this is how me and daddy go number 2 on the toilet, and this is how we pee in the toilet. And you know, one day you won't even need this little potty seat, but this is a special throne for you, whatever you want to say, you know, we just make it fun. And also, you know, when nowadays I'm seeing so many kids, just especially now that we're home and online, they're now just becoming so much more addicted to their electronics, their video games, their TV shows, they're learning school online. So this can be a way to, you know, kind of pull them away from the screen and say, okay, now let's go have an adventure. We're going to put on our Brave oil and we're going to go chomp around outside and, you know, build a fort, or go explore nature, or chomp around the river, or whatever nature access you have around you, or, you know, some kind of adventure to get them stimulated in a different way, to get that energy that can be so built up from staying so still, you know. So they're really missing out from those sports, from running around with their friends, you know. A lot of times they can't ride around outside in their bikes in groups like we used to, because people, you know, depending on what level we're at, but here in my neighborhood, we have a little BMX bike track literally across the street where all the kids come, like our neighborhood is known, and kids are just rallying with their bikes and jumping off and doing flips and stuff, and little kids are coming, but some of them are afraid to, like, you know, buy the big ones. Remember how that used to be when we were mixed age groups, and we would see older kids and we'd just like totally idolize them. They were the best. And then we'd be afraid to try something because we didn't want to fall or look stupid. So this is another great opportunity for us to instill courage in our little wee ones. Also to spark creativity. Like, okay, so maybe it's raining out and it's just nasty and cold and we can't go outside, so let's create an inner adventure and let's like maybe create a story and get artistic. So it also can spark creativity as well with this blend. And sometimes we're afraid to try new things. I remember when I was little, my parents took me to someone's house that we had never been to that had this amazing slide into their pool, but it was a curved slide and you climb up there and it was, you know, when you're a little kid, it seems giant. All day I wanted to go down it so bad, but I'd get up there, I'd sit there, freak out, climb back down, and my dad would be like, I'm right here, come, it's gonna be okay. But finally, of course, like right as we're about to leave, I'm like, okay, I'm finally gonna do it. And I did it. And then of course you get over your fear and then you just want to keep doing it over and over and over again. But they're like, sorry, we were here all day. It's dinner time. We're out of here. And I'm like, no. But, you know, just to help kids get over little things like that, because these are little humans that grow up into big humans. And, you know, like I said, we carry our experiences with us throughout our life. And, you know, they say in the yogic philosophy that we can only be as aware as our own experience is. So the more that we can experience and get over our fear, and in tantric philosophy, we like to do this. It's kind of like this. I experience all of life and what it is to the level that I feel comfortable experiencing it. So you all find your level of comfort. And then we begin to set our boundaries, but then we're like, we push the boundaries a little bit. So we're like, a little more, a little more, a little more, a little more, you know? So, you know, it's also, we can use this incrementally as well. So, I don't know. That's what I have to say about this oil. Let's see. They have a funny, again, recipe here where you can mix the blend with 2 drops of tangerine and 1 drop of lime, and then apply the oils all over the navel and back of the neck when things get too serious. This blend helps bring laughter back into the game of life. But remember, you don't want to do that when you're at the beach because citrus oils will burn and stain the skin up to 12 hours. What?
That there will not be any laughter involved.
There would not be any laughter there, yeah. And if you've ever seen a citrus oil burn, it can blister and it's terrible. I've seen it. So you do that at night in the wintertime when it's raining out, when they're not going to be in direct sunlight, okay? So be really mindful of that. We don't want to burn our skin. And also there is a kid-approved respiration blend, which uses the Brave blend mixed with peppermint oil. And you can apply this blend to the chest. So a lot of times kids are suffering from seasonal changes or congestion, excess mucus in the body, because if we're looking at our lifespan, according to Ayurveda, kapha time period is like from infant into like young adulthood, because think of it, you've got all your baby fat, you've got like all that excess liquid, you're like very childlike, and then we move into midlife, which is you get things done, pitta action, and then as we move into old age, it's more vata season, more wind, more, you know, more time for meditation, things like that. Okay, so this, so you can put this on their chest. You can roll the blend on their chest and then follow that with just a drop of peppermint oil on their hand, and they can put that on their chest as well. And this helps to open the airways, which is really great in times of panic, because, you know, when we feel panicked, we can't breathe. So when kids are feeling panicked or they're having a tantrum, they're like, it's almost like they're hyperventilating. So this is a good one to calm them down when they're experiencing that massive trauma or having a tantrum, and you're just like, it's okay, babe, I know you're having a hard time. We're just gonna sit here and I'm gonna help you breathe through it, and we're gonna use your magic potion, and find your superpower again. You know, and you just sit with them. And the best thing that you can do when someone is experiencing really negative feelings is not try to push them through it, but hold them and be like, it's okay, babe, I've got you. You cry for as long as you need to, and I'm right here for you. You know, whatever you need. You're safe, you're held, and never shaming anyone for crying, especially our little boys, because who says that boys can't cry? That's ridiculous. So, yeah, so this is a really powerful blend. You know, it's something that I necessarily didn't use that much, not being a parent myself or being around many kids. Oops, sorry, I got a little phone call there, so I got cut off on my live. So hopefully that didn't bust up the recording too much. Okay, and then let's see. Anything else that you friends want to add about raising children into healthy emotional beings? I'm sure we can get all the tips we can. Okay, Gail's got something to say, so I'm going to turn around my camera again so we can see you, Gail.
I actually just want to mention that I believe today is the last day to get advanced oil magic for only $12.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And what Gail is talking about is this book right here. So let me see. So Advanced Oil Magic.
When Gail told us that a couple weeks ago, that's when I ordered that book. And the amount of value you get for that is ridiculous. Not even just the book, but then they sign you up for, there's like all these webinars and all this even more free education. It's like jam-packed.
Cool. I didn't know about that part, but in this book as well, you'll see that it has those QR codes, you know, those like barcodey looking things. Here, I'm trying to show you guys with my phone and get everyone on the same page. So I don't know if you can see. Okay. But anyway, you guys know what a QR code looks like, hopefully. And if not, they're just those little square patterns here. It's right there. And what you do is you just, you can download an app on your phone, and you can just scan your phone on there and it will bring up the video. So you get some video education on those, you know, different tips too. So it's really such a great book, Advanced Oil Magic. You can get it for $12. And what, you pay for your shipping?
Yeah, it's like $16.50 it comes out to.
Perfect. $16.50 for a hardcover book that you're going to use as a reference book always. So when you can learn about different oils, different ailments, and it's doTERRA specific, which is super cool. So that's all I've got to say, but Molly's got something to say. So again, so I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see her beautiful face.
I just wanted to, Gail, I'm going to send you these titles of a couple of these books that I think you would really enjoy. By this,
Ooh.
It's a woman, Margaret Lembo. She is from Florida, from Boynton Beach. And she has this beautiful little crystal store there, and she has a bunch of books, and she actually makes her own oils. So she has a lot of cool reference books as far as oils and chakras, oils and vibrational energy, oils and stones. So this book is just the essential guide to aromatherapy and vibrational healing. And so cinnamon being, I was like looking up the different oils that are in this Brave blend, cinnamon being one of the oils. I just wanted to share the affirmation that's directly that directly coincides with cinnamon, which is the spice of life, because I think it's so appropriate for this oil.
Oh, I love it.
So it is: abundance and prosperity are constantly flowing in my life. I am courageous. I bravely bring my ideas into actuality. My imagination is the key to my success. My ideas are fresh and creative. I take action to manifest my artistic thoughts. I embrace life and enjoy a strong passion for living.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Molly. Love this. Oh, this is so great.
I'll type it in.
What?
When you post the video and the recording, I'll type in the comments, I'll put in that affirmation.
Oh, thank you. That would be wonderful. Yes. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for being here. I think this worked well, recording on Zoom and doing live in our Nurturing Naturals group. So we'll see how the replay looks in our Facebook group, and I'll also post the Zoom link too, just so that you have a better copy or something, or if you want to share it with somebody. So thank you so much, Gail and Molly and Ivy, and I see that Efroncini is here. She's my friend in Greece. And Michelle and Sonia and Donna and Joanne and Melanie. Thank you all and Erin. Thank you all so much for being present, tuning in. And if you have any questions, please post them in the comments or feel free to ask us and reach out. All right, my friends, have a beautiful day. Wishing you well. Stay strong and courageous in uncertain times. Know that you're not alone. You've got a whole community here. We love you. We've got your back. Have a great day, everyone. Namaste.
Bye. Namaste.